Welcome to the Salt Labyrinth. My name is Hank. With me is Ben.
Yo.
And this week we're talking the first four issues of Uncanny X-Force by Rick Remender and Opeña.
Yeah.
I don't remember that person's other name. And that's what, because that Ben wanted some Apocalypse, some X-Men stuff. So that is what I chose because this story is good, IMO. And also I gave Ben an option of like 4 covers to look at, and he picked
I thought
the
I was
X-Force one.
I thought I was baited at first because it doesn't that cover doesn't show up until later.
No, it's issue 3.
That son of a bitch.
I may have, waited. I was like, this is the cover Ben would like.
Yeah, I mean, it was like it's kind of in that classic like Conan, like 80s high fantasy style.
Yeah.
Dude holding an axe, like the horseman war holding up the big axe. Like, this is just cool. I like the dark background. Yeah, this was pretty good shit. I still can't tell if you were just like, if you were like having a giggle about giving me all the information about what's his name, Wing Boy,
Angel,
Archangel, and just Angel.
Yeah, he was
okay.
He was Warren Worthington the Third.
It was
Angel.
It was
who
pretty.
then became Archangel.
It was pretty obvious. Like, it was pretty fucking obvious. So I thought Storm was a different character because she had a different hairstyle on panel. Like, that doesn't mean. And I mean, I was really taken aback when you were like, you sent me a picture of this dude with wings, and you're like, he can fly. And I'm like, okay, come on, fuck, Jesus.
I was like, there's backstory you need. And
Yeah,
like, just a picture of Angel. I'm like, he can fly.
There's setup, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. That killed me. No, it was pretty. I would have.
It was just a thing. I was reading it, and I'm like, they do a pretty good job, like explaining most things, but they really don't explain that one.
I didn't get the version with like the back. You said there was like 6 pages of thing on like the Marvel Unlimited version or whatever.
It's like at the end of issue 1 and Marvel Unlimited, because I guess it was like literally in issue 1 and in the trade, and it's in the trade paperback or the collection that the physical book I was looking at, but it wasn't in the PDF I sent you. So. Yeah,
I mean, it was fine. The stuff I'd read that like we had read previously, I was pretty up to snuff on most things.
No, this is a pretty easy one to jump in on as far as X-Men stuff goes. It's just I read it having read the X-Force stuff that came right before it. So it's just like the anxiety of like, oh, I like this, but I have so much more context going into it, and I don't know how it'll hit the same, or how it'll hit for someone who doesn't have that stuff. So though I was only giving it to you because I was pretty sure it would work out fine anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the story stuff was interesting. The thing that leapt out to me is the art style, but that's primarily because this is the first thing I've read on my Surface. Because I just decided I'm not using this Surface for anything. I originally got it to like have an easy way to like take notes in class because I wanted them digital and all that shit. But like, I'm not in class anymore. I'm not taking notes. So I reinstalled Windows and shit, and then I just like dumped all my comic manga stuff onto it and got like a little app because I mean, well, if I read on desktop, it's me just like leaning back in my chair and like tapping the right arrow key on photo viewer. But I'm like, if I'm using a big old fat touch screen, like that's ridiculous. I'm not that crazy. So It has like infinite scroll, and like the colors fucking pop. It's like the screen is higher resolution than my monitor, so everything just looked incredible. So
Nice.
it was like a prime art style, because like the colors are really good, the art's really cool. So that was dope. It was a good break in for that. Yeah,
It's got
shit
a
was
strong visual style and
oh totally.
choices and stuff and colors.
The colors, like the color palette is so fucking good. Like
Yeah.
the green and like a bit of gold, and there's like the kind of red, purple, like crimson stuff. It's very good.
Yeah.
The only thing I guess I wanted to like confirm that I understood what the fuck was going on. So
Sure.
we had Deadpool, obviously. We had Wolverine. We had Angel. We had is her name Psylocke?
Psylocke. Yeah.
Psylocke. Okay. And her deal is like I don't know. I don't know exactly what her deal is. Obviously here like it seemed like she was just like fucking with people's heads. Like she turned off the dude's hearing. She's like doing this other shit, and she's also like she's keeping Angel in check, I assume, like partially with those powers.
Yeah, she's less psychic like Jean Grey or Professor X, but also she can make like use her psychic powers to make like energy swords.
Yeah.
Cause she's a ninja.
Well, and she's
she's like incredibly 90s in terms of like
I mean,
the
that's
badass ninja
that's
psychic.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
And she's
Here to be the coolest. That's her purpose.
She almost succeeded. She could have succeeded for someone else, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, sure.
The other thing she did, she likes to like put the idea in War's head that he loves her, and he like fucking spontaneously combusted. I guess.
No, Phantom X did that. Phantom X did that.
Phantom X. And Phantom X is the dude who like has the ship, right?
Yeah.
So he was the coolest because
Okay.
Ship.
He's the most modern of these characters.
Living Ship
He's a
is
Grant Morrison creation.
cool ass thing. So him having that, I'm like, this guy is cool, and his shtick.
It's his external nervous system. That's his
Yeah,
shit.
like I was like, that's like they're dropping these bits. I'm like, this is wild as hell. But
and he has the power of misdirection.
yeah, because like they called him. I mean, he was doing like kind of illusionist things, and they call him an illusionist. I'm like, okay, like that's cool. I love that shit.
Yeah.
His ship just like took those people to whatever fucking planet or something, and I didn't know if that was real or the other. Like it was wild. So that was cool. It was him, poor bastard, eating Deadpool's flesh.
That was Archangel was eaten.
Oh, it was Archangel. Okay.
Yeah, because Archangel got all fucked up, and then like
Right.
to like make him better, Deadpool starts feeding him like chunks of himself.
Well, first he goes with like the
Archangel's
cola and
like
pop rocks.
This is good. It's like
Is that
Deadpool's like yeah, where did it come from?
Is that like a thing? Like, why would feeding him make him better in the moment? I kind of missed that.
It's a part of his the way he's become Archangel again. Like had to do with being around murder because he's the Horseman of Death.
Okay.
That's kind of how his apocalypse shit worked. I think it has to do with that.
Okay.
Also, just because it's fucked up, and it's like, oh, I thought about this fucked up thing that could happen.
Yeah. No, that's. No, it was good shit.
Yeah.
I also like that we got a little brief but comprehensive backstory for each of the horsemen, the final horsemen. That shit was cool. Just getting to see that.
Because these are all new characters for this or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The one who's just like, just these people with like these fucked up powers.
Yeah, just like the drummer though.
Yeah.
Like, that was wild. Um. So what's the deal with like Apocalypse in this? Obviously, he's the kid. And who it was what's his name? Phantom X, right? Who blapped him?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, why was he a kid? I missed that.
Because I
Like they resurrected him into that.
Yeah, he's just been resurrected, and they're like, whatever. Like the. It's more like for X-Force, they're going after Apocalypse before Apocalypse has like made his move or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they've just heard rumors that he's around, so like he hasn't finished becoming Apocalypse yet, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Well,
like
and
the way this story would normally go is like they wouldn't realize Apocalypse was back until he had like grown up or whatever.
Yeah.
And become real Apocalypse.
So, yeah, no, I like figured some of that. I just want to be sure. Like, I mean, clearly, like kid Apocalypse, like he didn't have the memories or didn't have them yet, at least. I guess I don't know, because we get like all this stuff with him being like, I don't want to kill anyone, and then the guy Ozymandias, I guess, turns around and he's like, yeah, he wants to kill him, like do it,
Yeah.
and all that.
Because they're like trying to indoctrinate him into
His own,
Apocalypse's own beliefs.
yeah, which like I think that's an interesting concept, though it did lead me to the question, which I don't know if I should have picked up on it in the other stuff we read with him, but like, what's his actual power? Like, he's immortal, I guess, like lives for a long time, as we saw, but like, what does he actually do?
Fuck if I know.
It's okay.
Because the problem is like I think a lot of his powers he was like altered by the Celestials.
Sure.
So I don't know how much of it is like his mutant power, because he can like do things like he can like change. I've seen it stories with Apocalypse like he can like change size and just get really big.
Okay.
And regenerate, and he like just lives forever. But beyond that,
all right. I like,
and he like his big thing is like making a horseman or whatever.
Yeah. But I was like, I realized after reading this, I'm like, I don't actually know what he does. Like, we got all the backstories about the horsemen and like their powers awakening and like their mutants or whatever.
He has total control over the molecules of his body.
Neat.
So he can, turn himself into a jet if he wanted to.
Hell yeah. Jetocalypse. Here we go.
And he has technopathy.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a good one. Yeah, no, it was a good time. I definitely the thing that like I'm interested in after it is Phantom X and his ship, his external nervous system ship. I don't even want to, like, it feels a little strong to say like that's a trope or like a thing that I enjoy, because I haven't seen like a shitload of it. But I think the first instance I can think of that being a thing was in Farscape that I would have seen, and like I fucking loved it there. I love that idea of like the ship being a living, it's not just the ship, it's like it's an actual part of like the crew or whatever, and it has I don't know if it has a bit of agency or whatever, which in that show it did. I don't know about, I forget the ship's name in X-Force.
Ava,
right.
EVA.
Yeah. So like that's a cool thing. And like also that like just the misdirection stuff, like that seemed cool. I like how
also he's French.
Okay, I'm immediately uninterested. Pick a different character. Anything else? Wait, is he the dude from like Apocalypse Unleashed who like was written with the French accent in then? Or is that someone else?
Apocalypse Unleashed?
Or no, sorry, just Unleashed or whatever. No, onslaught, not unleashed, onslaught. There's too many words.
No, he was created. He was created after Onslaught.
Okay,
He's an early 2000s
gotcha.
character. He's post X-Men movies exist.
Oh, okay.
So, got to make the comics weirder.
I mean, yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's from 2002. He first appeared.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, his shit was cool. And he had like,
What's his full name?
yeah, I don't remember. I got their names confused, like, just
Sure.
because I didn't know.
Psylocke
Like,
is Betty.
yeah, sure. That one was pretty easy. Wolverine is
is
Logan.
Logan.
Yeah.
Deadpool is
is
Wade Wilson.
Wade. Yeah. That one I know. It was the other two. It was Warren and I don't even know if we got the other one, but I kept getting them fucking mixed up.
Yeah, I think it's Jean Paul.
Ugh.
Why does Wikipedia not say his name? Anyway,
Maybe he just doesn't have
Jean Philippe Charles,
even worse, but
also known as Weapon 13.
there we go. That I like that one better. Oh, he's cool. Good shit. He has like that inhibitor plate or something, because like Psylocke can't do shit to him, I guess.
Yeah, she couldn't read his mind, unlike everyone else's.
And I like the implication that it was like to prevent her from seeing all the perversion. Like,
How horny he is for her.
yeah. A little bit cursed, but you know.
Uh-huh.
No, this was a good one. So, have you read like other stuff with him? Would there be a direction to like follow with his shit?
I mean, we
With that
would just probably keep reading this.
Boo. Give me the solo whatever. That's like the hardest thing is like you just want to dive deep but on a single character, but like they're involved all the time.
Yeah, team books.
Yeah.
For obscure characters generally.
Yeah.
At least
But,
for,
like,
like
I mean,
the characters will have solo books, but I don't know a Phantom X book solo book that I actually found interesting or whatever. I don't know if he even has one.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm down
And like
to-
his earlier stuff is like way more like wrapped up in other stuff than this even.
Yeah, that sounds right. I mean, I'm down to keep following this for a while
Yeah, sure.
till something else strikes, or if like the next issue or volume or whatever has something that catches my fancy and I want to reroute.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Honestly, what I expect to happen, not yet.
Or you get tired of this or whatever.
Well, what's gonna happen, probably, knowing myself, is that I'm gonna see She-Hulk mentioned more times, and it's gonna like tip over the bucket of influence on me, and I'm gonna be like, I want to read She-Hulk. is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna come up in this book at all.
Yeah, but you know that's why we gotta change gears temporarily. Just hop around.
Yeah, but no, this is a comic that ends with one of the characters shooting a child in the head.
Understandable, dude.
This period of X-Men comics was just like incredibly dark.
Yeah.
It's kind of why I love it.
I mean, it just... I guess we don't really get a horrible amount of follow-up afterwards. Because, like,
No,
he
that
just shoots him
comes
and
in later issues.
Yeah. Like, so I'm kind of down for that as well. Because, like, they had all just decided, like, yeah, you know what? You're right. We shouldn't kill him.
Like, even Archangel was like, I can't kill this child.
Yeah. He couldn't fucking bring himself to do it. And then just... Yeah. So I'm also interested to see how that
Yeah.
resolves.
Because this comes out of like a period of X-Men stuff being all fucked up and dark because like all the mutants were murdered and there are only like 200 of them and stuff.
Yeah.
But then like this is like X-Force is supposed to have ended because they like accomplished their mission or whatever, and then this team is like, nah, what if we kept doing it? They kept some of the teenagers that were on the team off the team though.
Is this
I think because X-23, the teenage girl clone of Logan, was on the original squad. Or not the first version of X-Force, but the first version of this incarnation of X-Force.
Yeah, sure. Is that thing we read, like the House of X or Power of X, is that like in this continuity at all, or is that a completely separate?
That's later.
Okay, it's later. I just didn't know.
Basically,
I never know what's in the same timeline.
So this era kind of peters out because Marvel stops wanting to focus on X-Men stuff because they don't own the rights. And Hoxpox was kind of like the big comeback for X-Men comics.
Okay. And what year are we in for this?
So this
like
one,
2000
early 2010s, I want to say.
Okay. For some reason I had like 2007 in my head, but that didn't seem necessarily correct. Probably saw something along the way.
2011.
Okay. Yeah.
The comics might have actually come out in 2010, I think.
Oh,
yeah. Might have come out in 2011.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like that's when we are for these comics, and Hoxpox is like pretty recent.
Yeah, no,
that one I remember.
Yeah, that one I remember was like super recent when we.
Yeah, so it's like
read it
10 years later.
Okay.
So Onslaught is like mid 90s. This is early 2010s. So that's a large amount of time difference.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, not necessarily in a direct line, but like it'd be kind of cool to fill in some of the gaps between this and then House of X, and then maybe like continue with that stuff, because like I really enjoyed that. So having like some more context for it and the characters involved, and then like kind of continuing past a little bit to see what happens, because like that was an interesting read. Even for me, like having even less context than I do now. Not that I have a shitload more, but it was cool.
No, the only honestly a bigger reason I was kind of waiting. So the thing with Hoxpox is the writer went into it with like a story in mind, and like that House of X was like the first part of it, but that it was so popular, not just among readers, but among the other writers, like just the setting of that first part of the story, that like he had to abandon his story. Like he just like he couldn't then do the next part of it because people didn't want to like abandon this setup for the X-Men. They liked it too much.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. It's fucking cool.
So Hickman kind of just left X-Men comics, and now right now they're doing like a crossover event with the Eternals currently.
Yeah,
but it's being written by Kieran Gillen, who's one of my favorites. So I think that stuff's pretty good too.
What if I know that name? What if? Tell me what I read by them.
I don't remember.
I
literally don't remember what comic by him I would have handed you. Other than I would have mentioned him before, probably. Oh, right. He created Dr. Aphra.
Yeah, that would do it. That would fucking do it.
That's what we read by him.
what a series that I never finished.
I mean, we read all of the Dr. Effer that he wrote.
Yeah. You know what? I need to look back in on that because like they were setting her up in a pretty top tier relationship, and I need to see if it panned out. And if it didn't, then Star Wars is dead to me. And if it did, I'm back in.
God, what a good character.
It was dude. Those comics were so fun. Like Dr. Aphra just kicked ass.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like the ceiling on some of that stuff though was hindered by this fact that they're stuck between Star Wars and Empire.
Yeah, no, like that's the piss off constantly. Like you need like if you want to involve any of that. I mean, you just like I think as far as I know cuz I didn't continue reading, but I think they like branched her out into the side. I don't know, or she just gets fucking killed at the end of it because she has to cuz she encountered Vader or whatever. But yeah, no, that's definitely the issue with those. But yeah, no, that was
because you can't start making comics after Empire. Fucking Han Solo wouldn't be there.
yeah, obviously. Ugh. But you can start making it. You can make comics like within what, like 800 years. You have like 800 years before the prequels, and that's fine because you can still shove Yoda in there. That's all you need. Anything before that, no dice. People only read things that have characters they love. No new characters.
I mean, kind of true.
Kind of true, but like also, you need to have new characters at some point. Says someone who hates new characters.
I don't worry about new characters.
I
do want to read about good characters.
Yeah, that's the curse of my existence. I'm more apt to reading about new characters, I'll say. Cuz like there's my imagination has more say in the in the matter as opposed to like just seeing them on a screen. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. I mean, I would prefer like the comics were after Jedi, but then you don't have Darth Vader. So I get why they don't do that either.
Yeah, but like for Dr. Aphra, it wasn't like necessary though. Not really. Like we could have just had like
I mean, like, yeah, no, I would follow that character like through the events of I wish her adventures would just keep going as those movies just happen, and now we're after those movies or whatever. But I don't know that the way that line works, and because they want to do crossovers and stuff.
Yeah,
like they were maintaining they were trying to maintain a single continuity for
and they
those
crossed
books
it
that she
over
was a
with
part
the-
over. Yeah, with the mainline Star Wars book.
Which who?
Yeah, and like that mainline Star Wars book just feels incredibly limited in what it can do.
Yeah, no, and it kind of is, except for the like vampire bit we got. Star Wars vampires, that was a thing.
Hell yeah. Storm's been a vampire.
I'm in. Okay. Not for next time, but we could bank that for like Halloween. Vampire Storm.
Okay.
I'm immediately interested. Oh. Yeah, no, comics continue to be cool. Go figure. When you have when you have someone curating the comics you're reading.
He's like, I like
Shocked.
this one. Look at this one.
Yeah. As opposed to me like managing to pick out the comics with the coolest covers and the shittiest stories at the store, which I'm sure would happen. Not saying that's always the case, but like it would happen to me.
So next time we're gonna read Uncanny X-Force Deathlok Nation. Because that's the next story.
Nice. Is it just another like handful of issues or whatever, like a volume?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be like
cool. Yeah, man. I'm down.
It'll
I'm ready.
Be issues. I don't know.
Something to something. Hell yeah.
5 to 7, 5.1. In Astonishing Tales 25, apparently, is what the next volume is. I don't remember why Astonishing Tales 25 is in there. I think 5.1 was just, it was a gimmick where for whatever reason the next issue in all the comics was 5.1, but it was the next one.
Great.
I think that was a line-wide thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is why people love comics.
They're trying to make it easier for you to jump on as a new reader.
Yeah, and part of
by
like,
making it way more complicated.
That's part of comics, baby. If it's complex, then you can be a smug asshole about understanding comics to all your inferior friends. Ha. Oh, what? You just read manga? Let me guess. You started at issue 1 or volume 1, and you just kept going as the numbers increased, and you followed a single story without like diving into 8 other series. Yeah. Plebeian.
It's generally, if you're literally going to the comic book store every week and looking at the shelf and all the releases, it's generally pretty easy to follow. Although, again, that's not always. But when you look at it from the past and try to parse, the resources are not good.
Dude, that's just like
for parsing. Even like for me, who knows all this shit, like if
it's rough.
Not having been going to the shop all the time. That's
what I was gonna say.
You lose threads. Like issues will fall through the cracks.
Dude, it's like the prototype for like shitty game practices, like battle passes and like daily rewards and weekly shit. Like it's all fine when you're logging in every day and you're balls deep in the game, and then you miss like half of a month and it's all just fucked. You don't go to the comic store for 2 weeks, and suddenly Spider-Gwen is like going to different timelines to apologize for all the dead Spider-Men that happened, and you're like, what the fuck did I miss? What happened? Is Spider-Ham around? And you're like, I don't know. I actually forget if he lived in that, but that's what I remember trying to read that. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, because we got to like Spider-Geddon, which I haven't
read. And we just skipped it. We just clipped right over. I'm like, oh, a bunch of people died. Okay.
It's like, oh, an event happened. Huh.
Meh. Yeah. Huh. Anyway.
That's what happened with my Avengers read-through is I've just hit the King in Black event, which is like the big Venom event.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, I have to read every Venom comic that I've missed.
Yeah.
Which is somehow more Venom comics than existed before I stopped reading Venom comics.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They've somehow more than doubled the amount of Venom comics since like 2015.
See, like that's the thing I wanted to maybe do up, because like there was a lot of shit with Ghost Spider in there.
Yeah,
because like everybody's involved.
Spider. Yeah, Gwenom.
But like, yeah, but like, I took like a 4-second look at it. And I'm like, this is more material than any one man can handle.
There's a lot.
I just bailed.
It's just a lot.
There's so much.
Anyway. Unlike X-Men, there's not.
Unlike it's. We'll take it one volume at a time until something catches me, and then I'll take it 40 volumes at a time.
That's
the dream.
The beauty of the show is like I put a limit on how many issues I'm allowed to put on an episode. Whereas if we were doing a normal Salt Circle, it's just way too many.
Dude, I was thinking about that when I finished reading X-Force, and I'm like, feels kind of weird. Feels like I should be done with like 1 out of 15.
Yeah. It's like, what if like we read a reasonable amount of comics for a thing?
Yeah.
But then you get through less comics. That's how it goes.
Yeah, but like we're doing we got so much going on, like sprinkling, and you gotta maybe at some point we'll beef up the comics and like sprinkle a show or something. But for now, keep the comics as a nice little like side dish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Solid Circle Podcast, gmail.com, Solid Circle Pod on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels, and our episodes are hosted at anchor.fm/Solid Circle.
If
be prepared to learn about Deathlok, I guess.
I'm prepared. Just a little public service announcement. If your friends are dying in front of you, don't cut off hunks of your arm to feed that to them. That
it worked.
Like, it worked in that scenario, but like probably it will not.
That was
work
a very specific scenario. The person cutting off his own meat has regenerative powers.
If you have regenerative powers,
and the person eating the meat is the Archangel of Death.
Like, go for it. But like, read the room, know yourself, know your friends.
Read the room.
Yeah, be careful out there.
Yeah. Peace.